तेजस्विनावधीतमस्वामिद्विषावहै ओम शांति शांति शांति. Everybody welcome to Kanchikama Seva Foundation and Arsha Vidya Varshini's program on understanding our Sanatana Dharma in USA, especially for youngsters. This is, I want to introduce Sri Jaishankarji. Jaishankarji, we know him for a long time, for 20 years now. He used to be a software engineer here, returned back suddenly after finding the true purpose of life. He studied under Puja Sri Dayananda Saraswati Swamiji for 3 years in Aniketi, graduated from that, and now he has done work in Aim for Seva. Aim for Seva is a non-profit organization. So he is doing half IT and half teaching right now of Vedanta Shastram. We learn a lot from him, especially children. Ask your doubts away. If you have questions about anything, this is your time to ask. No more.
One request. Every friend like halfway from your now correct. Just move forward.
Sadaşiva-samarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. So today our Hari asked particularly that I talk about understanding our Dharma. Not only understanding, practicing, and also in the context of US. So maybe before I start speaking something, maybe I should try to understand first what is your understanding of our Dharma, correct? Because many people may ask you here, because we are in a land where there are so many other religious traditions are there, which are numerically at least more, correct? People are there of other traditions. So they may ask you about what is your religion, what do you follow, how many gods you have, whether you have one god, you have many gods and all that. Some of them may be genuinely curious and they may ask, or some of them are trying to convert you and all that. So all both kinds of ways you are I think you will be confronted with different questions, I think. So what do you understand or what will you say if somebody asks you about your religion? Maybe you can tell. So you have to say something, right? If your friend asks you, let us say, how many gods you have? So what will you say? Anybody else also? It's not only that I just pointed my finger there. Thousands. Yeah, 33 crore can be one answer. In fact, in the Vidya Upanishad, there is one portion where the devas, how many devas are there and all, there is a question actually. And then it goes down and down like first. It is Ananta, it is endless actually. And then he starts with some few thousands and all that and then keeps on reducing it. So like that also there is a section, in fact, interesting section. But okay, one answer is that we have so many. Then the question will be, why do you have so many? What will you say then? Why there are so many gods? Or we have to say Devata, correct? In fact, one more thing we all should understand is that the word God again has different meanings in different traditions. Okay, although we may use the same word, our understanding of that word can be very different from somebody else's understanding. So that also we have to keep in mind when we are explaining something. But whatever in general, there is a particular you can say view that we have so many gods. Again, which will be also you can say reinforced if you enter even our Hari's puja room here. So you can see so many pictures and so many different vigraham also, right? Small pratima and all are there, both are there actually. And so, and even puja also one may do to many devatas, correct? In the morning you start, even if you do puja, we start with Ganapati, and then maybe somebody is doing Shiva puja, somebody is doing puja to Vishnu. Like that, there are so many, or somebody is doing puja to Devi, or some kind of Shakti, let us say. So all these things are there in our tradition, and in fact it's not very easy to explain this, correct? If somebody asks you, how do we even explain it to them? Why I am saying this is not only for young people, even if I ask our older people also, I don't know whether they will be able to articulate very easily. Because even I have seen that recently in some TV also, one anchor was asking some people who were organizing the Brahmotsavam in a big temple. Okay, so there was TV coverage. The TV anchor is asking for, okay, tell us a few words about your religion. Then they were not able to explain that easily. Okay, so just they said that it's a way of life. Okay, that much some people say that, and that I think has become a very popular answer also. If somebody asks you what is Sanatana Dharma, Hindu Dharma or Hinduism, then people generally say it is a way of life. That is a easy way out, I think. But again, even that is not a very satisfactory answer. Why? Because if we just say a way of life, everything is a way of life, correct? Even a junkie, if you go and ask, then that person will say, this is my way of life. Or a thief, if you go and ask, that person also can say, this is my way of life. So there is not really a great answer actually. But why do we even say that also we should understand? Because for us, this particular way of life phrase, I think was popularized by Dr. Radhakrishnan, who was also a president of India, and in fact we even celebrate Teachers' Day in memory of Dr. Radhakrishnan. He was a great scholar and all that. So I think he introduced this, that our traditions are a way of life, mainly to again differentiate it from other faith-based systems. Okay, that is why I think he used that, because in some religious tradition it does not matter what you do. You can do all kinds of things, and finally you say that whatever I believe in so and so means then you are absolved of everything. That kind of a belief is there. Correct? That means faith is more important. Now for us, that's not the case. So I think he wanted to differentiate in that manner. So Dr. Radhakrishnan said that it is a way of life. Means for us, what we do is more important than what we believe. In fact, there is even a very open-minded prayer sloka. Yam Shaiva, Shiva Iti, and all start. Okay, the Shaivas call whom as Shiva. Okay, the Vaishnavas call whom as Vishnu. The Nayayikas call the same person as Karta. Okay, the Jainas call as Arhata, like that, and Buddhas call as Buddha. Buddhas call as Buddha, like that. There is, and whoever you may be, my namaskara is to you, like that. There is a prayer there. That is also quoted sometime, very interesting prayer. The idea being that what you believe, of course, is important, but more important is, in spite of whatever you believe, whatever you do also is Dharma for us. Understand that Dharma is dependent on Achara, not only on what you believe. And that alone is going to give you results in life also. That also we will try to understand. explain as we go forward. But the way of life phrase is basically to differentiate that we are not just a faith system or whatever you believe alone is important. It's not like that. More important is what you do in your life day to day, all that. Okay. So that is one important thing. But even then, the just saying way of life also is not a very great answer, like I told you. So my guru used to say, that's why he used to always say, it's a vision and a way of life based on a vision. Okay, that's why the topic I wanted to give like that. So it is a vision and a way of life based on that vision. So once I say that, then you will ask me, what is that vision? Correct? What is the vision which makes all our practices meaningful? Because unless it is meaningful, nobody wants to follow. Correct? Of course, maybe 50 years back, people were following this because their parents told or grandparents told. Even in our generation, it was not like that. Okay. We were all asking so many questions, and if my parents were not able to answer that, then I don't have any conviction in doing that. That is also quite natural, I think. So, we have to have certain understanding of what our Dharma is. What is the vision on which this Dharma is based? And then only if it is meaningful to you, then with the conviction you can follow that. So otherwise nobody is going to follow this because maybe when you are a young kid, you may follow whatever your parents are saying, but once you come to high school and all that, I don't think anybody is going to listen to their parents. So it has to be your knowledge, your understanding, and then based on that understanding, whatever Arsha, correct, your own life you have to lead, correct, a certain lifestyle or way of life, let us say, correct. So you should have a certain way of life based on your understanding, and that understanding only we are trying to know, talk about. Okay, what is that our ancestors, what understanding they had, whether it is even relevant now, and also whether how do we first understand that and then see how it is the right way or that is the vision which has to guide our life, correct? For a vision to guide our life also it has to have some relevance. Okay. So these are the things which I want to talk to you. So in this the vision is the Vedic vision. Okay, it's not just any vision. Our vision, when we say Sanatana Dharma, Hindu Dharma, the Dharma itself, the word when we use. So, Vedo Akila Dharma Moolam, like that is said even in the Manusmriti, that is a general understanding. So, our understanding is that all our Dharma, the source for that is the Veda. So, basically, then the vision is a Vedic vision. So, what is that vision then? What does the Veda give us? Okay. If we look at, see any darshana, correct, like that also there is a word in our Indian tradition. We say darshana means there are 6 astika darshana there, we say, okay, and 6 nastika darshana are also there. So in general we talk about in our Indian knowledge tradition, there are 12 types of darshanas. Okay, darshanas sometimes are translated as philosophy and all that, but I don't think it is correct. Darshana can be darshana. Darshana means a certain standpoint or a view. Okay. And every darshana in our tradition has to talk about certain things. What are all those things? One is you as an individual. Correct? All of us are there. We are all human beings. We are all conscious beings. We have our own feelings. We have our own needs and wants and whatnot. So many things are there. So what about this individual? The individual, what is your role in this world also has to be taught. Because as soon as we say individual, you are not isolated, right? You are in a particular world. Whether you chose that world or not is a different thing, but you are still there in a world, in which you were born and you have been raised here. So what about this world? So there has to be a particular view about the world, there has to be a view about the individual, and then more importantly, if there is a creator, correct? Because again, not every darshana accepts that the world is a creation, understand that? Unless the world is established that it is a creation, we cannot even talk about a creator. Now, there are even modern scientists have their own views about all these things, correct? So, even modern science also can be considered as a darshana in the sense that the science is imposing its own views on you. Whether it is valid or not, now we have to further think about it. But they have a view that everything is matter, and then suddenly some, I don't know how, but they have, sometimes scientists are also humble. Many scientists are really humble in the sense that they know what they know, they also know what they do not know. So they don't want to venture into what they do not know. Some of the scientists are good that way, but there are others also who may be trying to impose their own beliefs in the cloak of science and all that. But anyway, the scientists also have their own limitations, understand that? Because sometimes I feel that people are carried away by the word scientific, and they think that just by putting an adjective scientific, everything becomes valid. So let me tell you that not everything scientific is valid, and not everything which is not scientific is invalid. Those things we have to work out ourselves, okay? An intelligent person have to understand that. In fact, there are certain people who are actually now understanding that, I think. So, but anyway, we will look into that also, I think, as we go forward. So this is the thing, okay? So anyway, coming back to the vision. The vision of the Veda with reference to you, with reference to the world, and with reference to the Creator. That's what first we have to understand. Okay, that's what I want to tell you now. So in this, of course, all theologies have certain vision about the Creator, correct? So any theology talks about God as a Creator, let us say. But then the most theologies say that some Father in heaven has created this world, correct? Or God in heaven created this world. Means God is sitting somewhere else. World is now like some, I don't know, it's like some chapati or whatever. It is now separate, correct? In general, the one who makes the chapati is not the same as the chapati or whatever. Let us say a potter. Okay, potter is there and a pot is there, means they both are separate. So now is this like that? Okay, you can have a question, correct? When we say God as a creator, assuming the world is a creation, okay, that itself cannot be established logically, understand that? Nobody can establish that this world is a creation. So somebody can say that world was always like this. So why do you need a creator? You don't need a creator or anybody. But again, we see that certain things are always changing, and things go into an undifferentiated state and again they differentiate. So there is a cycle, and all. Within the creation also we see there are cycles of creation, sustenance and resolution or destruction and all that. So it is reasonable to extrapolate that to the entire universe also. And one view, even scientifically, is that they talk about a Big Bang and all, correct? So there is a Big Bang. Before Big Bang, what was there? Means the scientists and all, they say that there was some kind of a what they call as like unitary principle or whatever. Right? They also talk about some kind of because like all the whatever matter went into that and all that. Okay, so there is a particular state from which everything, then there was a Big Bang and then the whole universe started and all that. There is a theory like that. In fact, it's maybe even popular now, I think. But anyway, so assuming that, but they say that the Big Bang generally happened this way. So did it happen randomly, or is happening under the control of some being. That's what we are also talking about here. So when we look at that, again that being itself, what is the nature of the being? If at all there is a creator like that. So most theologies say that creator is somewhere sitting, this world is separate, we are all separate, and then you have to go there. Okay? That is your goal. And to go there, you have to believe somebody will take you there. So if you believe in somebody, you will go there. Otherwise, they will give you a fear. What is the fear? If you don't follow me, you will be burning in hell and all. So that is the contrast. So one side you frighten the people, another side you want people to follow you. Now this kind of theology is there all over. It's not only in US, let me tell you. In different traditions, even in Indian tradition also, this kind of theology is there. I won't say it is not there, although it is not the majority view, but there are people who talk like that. So that is one view, but again I won't say that is the real Vedic view. So what is the Vedic view is that before we go there, this view itself is a problematic view because it is somewhat illogical. Why? Because if you say that Father in heaven or God in heaven created, then who created the heaven? You will ask. You are all intelligent people, correct? Then they have to say something. Nobody created heaven, that will also become a problem. Or you say, no, God only created heaven, correct? Then you will ask, where was God before heaven was created? Means that becomes a problem. You cannot say hell. God will not be very intelligent, He created hell for himself. Human beings can do that, but God cannot do that. So like this, you keep on asking some questions, they don't have any answer really. They just say, shut up and believe in me. So that is why it's a faith system. You understand that they are having a certain faith, and they even say that the faith should, even if it is illogical, should have faith. That is the kind of faith some traditions are talking about. I want to distinguish our tradition from that. We do not say that. Is that clear? We say that if something is illogical or is against established knowledge, we cannot accept it even if the Vedas say that. Okay, that is what Adi Shankara in his commentary in the Gita Bhashya also he says that even if 100 Vedic statements are there that 5 is old, if Vedas say that 5 is old, I cannot accept it, he says. He says very clearly that whatever the Vedas give us, it cannot go against any established knowledge. Okay, that we are very clear. That means whatever our view, the Vedic vision cannot be illogical or against logic or against established knowledge, including scientific knowledge, whatever we have today. Okay, but understand it can be beyond all these things. Okay. That is the other point which we have to understand. So this Vedic simplistic view that some God is sitting somewhere and then created all these things is a very, very juvenile view, I think, which can be easily, if you ask a few questions, they don't have any answers really in that. But the Vedic view, what is the view then? Because whenever we talk about a creation or an effect or whatever, something is newly created, there is a creator, is only the intelligent cause, we say. Because whenever there is an effect, cause and effect we talk about, we say that there has to be an intelligent cause. Because somebody should know about something, the potter should know about the pot, then only you can make the pot. Should have the skills to create the pot. That is one cause. But potter alone is there, also pot you will not get, correct? You have to have the material, potter should be there, clay also has to be there, then only you can create something. Now that is called the material cause or upadana karanam, we say in Sanskrit. So there is a nimitta karanam, which is the intelligent cause, or we can simply say maker. So there has to be a maker, there has to be a material. This is true for all creation. Okay. Now even if we take the entire world as a creation, once we understand that there has to be a maker and a material, then what is that material then? Or where is that material coming from? Because if we say the world has been created, world is a creation and it has been created, what is the material for this creation, you can ask. Okay. Now, where did that material come from also you will ask. Because if you say God created the world, then what is the material? You cannot say God went and borrowed material. Like if you want to make something and you don't like I said, if you want to make chapati and you don't atta, we can borrow from our neighbors, correct? But Bhagavan cannot do that. He doesn't have anybody else to borrow from also, poor day. So, what is our vision in this case about this material and the maker? If we take our Vedic vision is that both the maker and the material are one and the same. It's not two different things. So this has very profound implication. That's what I want all of you to understand. So what is the implication of saying that when we consider this entire universe as a creation, and for this creation the maker and the material are one and the same entity. They are not two different things. Okay? They are one and the same. If I say this, what is the implication and how does it even make all our religious tradition and all that meaningful? This is the connection I want to make. Is that clear to all of you? Do you have any questions here? So, this maker and the material being same, I can give you a lot of quotations from the Veda for that, correct? Yato va imani bhuta nijayante ye rajata nijivanti yat prayanti abhisamvishanti. Like this is Taittiriya Upanishad. Some of you may have even learnt Taittiriya Upanishad chanting. So we say that from which all the beings, this entire whatever is there here has come, by which everything is sustained, into which everything goes back. That is Brahman. That is the reality we are talking about. Like this, the Jagat Karanam is talked about. Or even there is even in Bhagavad Gita also it is there. Bhagavan says, Yatah pravrittir bhutani yena sarvavidam tatam swakarmana tamabhyacha siddhim nindati manavaha. Or so many other shlokas are there even in the Gita. I think many of you have even memorized Gita, I had, correct? So aham adischa madhyamcha bhutanam anta evacha. Like that Krishna says, I am the beginning, I am the whatever in between also, and even in the end also, I alone I am there. Okay, everything may resolve, but I am still there. So how do we understand all these statements? Is there any way, any analogy by which I can understand that the maker and the material are one and the same? If you ask like that, it is there because the Upanishad itself gives an analogy for this. One is the spider. Okay, you are all very fond of Spider-Man, but spider is very useful analogy. It is there in the Upanishad. Yatornanabhis sridate grihnate cha. Like that. There is a statement in the Upanishad. The Mundaka Upanishad is there. So Urnanabihi means spider in Sanskrit. And srijate means it can create a yarn. Right? A spider yarn is an amazing material. Understand that even scientists are doing a lot of research on the spider yarn because of the properties which it has. Because it is so light, but it can still, it is so strong also, in spite of being light and all that. So it's an amazing thing. But the spider does not borrow any material from anybody else, correct? Because it can create that material itself, from itself. So it is both the maker and the material for the yarn. And many times when the spider is actually dangling, correct, on that, and you go here and poke, then it will simply roll it and just go up. Okay, if it is threatened, it can roll that and take it back inside itself. Okay, so like that, so that is given as one analogy for you to understand that the maker and the material is one and the same. But there are other analogies are also there even better, like the dream world. Right? All of you are dreaming. Every day we say you have sweet dreams and all that. Whether you dream really or not is a different thing. At least don't have nightmares. Okay, but dream is there. You create an entire space-time. All the beings in the dream are there. While it lasts, it looks so real, the experience for you. But when you get up, you know that only it is all the projection only in your mind, correct? It is all you, really speaking. The entire dream world is nothing but you, right? Including whatever you saw in that. So, from all these things, we can understand that there can be appearances and there can be creation or manifestation where the maker and the material are one and the same. So it's not something we cannot understand. But something more also I want all of you to understand. Even let us say, how can we say, like there are so many things in this world, correct? So many, you cannot count how many objects are there in this world. It's countless, really speaking. Even human beings, billions of us are there. Living beings, if you take them, we can't even count. There are trillions, maybe so many life forms themselves are so many, and individually so many living beings are there. And then non-living things also whatever are there. So all these things, so many are there. How can you say that all this is only one? Right? This is a valid question. How you can say that all these things are only have come from one entity, or it is all one? Of course, the dream example answers this also in a way. But even let us forget the dream. See, what is the current scientific understanding? Current scientific understanding is everything here you can reduce it to molecules. Okay, whatever is there, this entire room, human beings are there, this wall is there, this wood is there. Now everything can be reduced to some molecules, they say. Okay, fine. But what about molecules? Molecules also they reduce it to some atoms. Then atom also they reduce it to some subatomic particles, you can say, proton, neutron and all that. Even that they further reduce it to some whatever, fundamental particles and all that. Only few are there, 2-3 are there. Okay, the quarks and all that, they talk about the current standard model and all. If you read in physics, they have a certain understanding that they reduce everything to only a few things. Then how these things are there now differently? That's the question, correct still. Because if you say only everything can be reduced to only 2 or 3 entities or particles, how all of them have now become so many different human beings, so many different non-living things, etc. means there is no answer really. Understand that. In fact, in one way we have to say it is Maya. Right? That's what we talk about Maya. It's not a very difficult thing to understand. In fact, every scientist can easily understand Maya because at a quantum level there are only few things. In fact, they say 98% is only space, really speaking. So 99% is only space. But when we deal with the world here, we have solid, liquid, gas, so many things are there. But actually at an atomic level, everything if you see, it is all only 99% is actually space. So then how do we even understand all these things? That's why whatever appears can be one thing, but then we have to understand the reality between any appearance. That is the most important thing. And even here, even from a scientific standpoint also, what we can see is they also say that a quantum system has to be collapsed by an observer and all that. Okay? They also have to bring in a conscious entity there, although they don't have any consensus about all that. There are a lot of different theories that are going on, but what I just want to point out that don't think that whatever we say is somehow not in keeping with the current knowledge or anything. So our Vedic vision is the only vision which cannot be negated in any manner. Understand that? Because the Veda says that this world is a creation. The Veda only has to say that. Like I said, logically we can never establish that the world is a creation. But once we accept it as a creation also, the Vedic vision is the only vision which makes sense. Because for the entire universe, if there is a creator, that creator cannot borrow any material and all that. Or cannot create from nothing also. Understand? Some theologies say that God created world out of nothing. That also is illogical. From nothing only nothing will be there. If you say you can create something from nothing, I will give you nothing. You can give me that something. Okay, I will be very happy to take it. So from nothing, something cannot come. In fact, it is said in the Gita also, Bhagavan says this, correct? Many of you, I don't know whether you may have memorized Gita, but there is one verse, correct? Nasato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sataha. Means whatever is existing can never become non-existent. And whatever is non-existent can never become existent. This looks like really like a stupid statement, right? Because it looks like very like an obvious statement, but there is a lot of meaning in that, because Bhagavan says the one who understands these two things, Ubhayorapi Drishtontaha tu Anayohom Tattvadarshinihi and all, he says, if you understand these two statements, you know what's reality and all that. It has a deeper meaning, but I don't want to go into that right now. But what I would say is, you cannot create anything from nothing. Therefore, my guru used to say that Bhagavan created this world out of nothing else, he would say. You add one else there, then that is the Vedic vision. So this vision, how does it make our religious culture meaningful? Or in fact, our religious culture is a container for this vision, really. For you to understand this vision only, we have a certain religious culture also, because our way of life is based on this vision. That is the first thing we have to understand. Because once we say we have a vision and a way of life, we have to say that our vision is this, that the maker and material are one and the same. And then our way of life is also based on this vision alone. Or in fact, even better way of putting it, which again is not, I did not coin it, again my guru used to say this, is that if anybody asks you how many gods you have, do you have one god, many gods? Means somebody said 33 crore and all that, which is also not an incorrect answer, but the more precise answer is what? For us, all that is here is only God. So he used to say we have only God. It's not one God or many gods. We have only God. So that is our vision. So if you want to convey or articulate our religious culture and our beliefs to somebody in an easy manner, you have to say all that is here is only God. That is our vision. And our entire life is based on that vision, or at least to make you understand that vision. Okay, our way of life is actually designed for you to understand that, and by understanding that only you can really have a happy life also. Understand? See, Dharma means, Dharma cannot be something which makes you unhappy. Understand that? In fact, this also is there in the traditional understanding of the word Dharma itself. One of the things which is said is what? Whatever you do as Dharma, finally it should make you happy, correct? Because that is the goal of everybody. If you go to anybody and ask, what do you want in life? Okay, even young people, what do you want in life really? You want to be happy, correct? Now let me ask you one question. When do you want to be happy? Do you want to be happy in the morning, in the afternoon, or at night, or in the evening? When do you want to be happy? Always. Okay, all the time I want to be happy. Wonderful. Where do you want to be happy? Do you want to be happy at home? You want to be happy at school? Or you want to be happy while camping somewhere in some place? When do you want, or where do you want to be happy? Everywhere. So what you are really seeking is, you want to be happy everywhere. You want to be happy all the time. Now what is the implication of this? See, all of you, when I ask the question, you are very clear about the answer. But did you understand the implication of this question? Yeah.
We have some $10 gift cards on Amazon. Whoever gets, if you ask a question, if they get answer, they get one.
Wow. This is interesting. At least you will be happy. Immediately we can make you.
You be the judge, give it to the child. Only children.
Only children also. Okay. Adults are not allowed. Above 18, you cannot enter. Great. Okay, so see, everybody wants this in fact. Whatever we need, not only Indians or our people, whoever you go to the road and ask somebody, they will all of them want to be happy all the time, everywhere. Means basically you want unconditional happiness, correct? I want happiness. It should not be qualified or conditioned by anything, or anything should not affect it. That's what we really want. But whether you get it or not is a different thing, correct? But still, you want something which is unconditional, but you are searching for it in some limited thing. That is the tragedy of human life. But that is a different thing. We will come to that. But so, since everybody wants happiness, our ancestors also understood this, correct? They said, Dharma, if you lead a life of Dharma, you should at least never be unhappy. Is that clear? Whatever makes you happy alone can be Dharma. But whatever you think will make you happy may not be always Dharma. That also you have to understand. So there are nuances in this. But I want to make you understand this point. Again, the life of Dharma does not mean that you don't have any hardship and all that. There are physical hardship and all is different. Correct? See, if I leave it to yourself, if you are all the time sitting in a couch and watching some TV, let us say, maybe you think that that is happiness to start with. But if you lead a life like that for some 10 years, eating junk food and all that, you are only sitting in your couch, then you will not be happy at some point in time. What? You are not going to have good health. So it is going to reflect, correct? And you may get bored also. How long will you be sitting in a couch watching? How much TV shows you can watch also? It's not going to make you really happy. So there are certain things in the short term, it may look like it may make you happy, but really it is not really making you happy. This is what, in fact, the Gita also it comes. If you go to the 18th chapter of the Gita, Yadagre Yadagre Vishamiva is later on it comes. Okay, Parinami Dhitopaham Tatsukam Satvigam Proktam is there. But then before that Bhagavan says, he also talks about Rajasam Sukam, Tamasam Sukam and all. So this Rajas, Tamas and Satvik like that Bhagavan talks about. This theme goes from the 14th chapter onward. There is Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga and then later on 16th, 17th and 18th chapter also. But the Satvigam Sukham means what? Yadagre Vishamiva. Initially it is like poison. Correct? Whatever your mother, your parents say is all poison only initially. It's not very palatable. Easily you cannot digest. But then that alone will make you Pariname Amrita Upamam, he says. It is like Amrita later on. Okay? This Bhagavan says that. Like that, or whatever initially looks fast food and all that is nice initially. Okay? But then later on you are going to have health problems, so many other problems. So these are some things we have to keep in mind. So Dharma means it has to make you happy. How can Dharma make you happy? Let me also talk about that. This is a very important point, I think, particularly youngsters have to understand. Because, so let me ask one question to you, okay? So what do you think is success in your life? What is success according to you? Tell me.
Having like money and like a good life. And
What is a good life? Because the good life and all is a very vague term, correct?
not just money, but also like people
Hmm.
around you.
Okay, so many others are also raising their hand. Come on, yeah. I like it. Tell me, yeah.
Making a positive impact for you and others.
Okay, positive impact for you and others. Fine. Then, what else? He wants to say something. Yes. Tell.
Having a good job and good family.
You want to have a good job and good family. Okay. Tell me, yeah.
I want to achieve my goals and make a lot of money.
Make a lot of money. So a lot of you are after money. It's not bad. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
I mean, trying to get out of the duality of happiness and
Okay. So he is going more deeper. Who else? Yeah. Tell me. Yeah.
Having reaching a balance between like personal life and work. So like where
Okay.
you can still spend time with family and you can still have the time to work and be successful in
Okay.
the job itself.
Wonderful. Okay, so now let me say, like, see, all of you have certain likes and dislikes, I can say, right? You like some kind of a life. It may not be the same for everybody. But then you think that by achieving whatever you like, you are successful. Is that clear? That is the general understanding of most of the people here. So whatever I like, I want that. Whatever I dislike, I don't want it. And likes and dislikes vary. That's how we are all different personalities. Correct? My personality itself is defined by what I like and what I dislike. I may like idli dosa in the morning. You may like some cereal and all that, which I don't really mind. But anyway, so like this personally also we have lots of likes and dislikes. And certain likes and dislikes are even more pronounced in the sense that if you think that without fulfilling those likes and dislikes, I cannot be happy. Is it clear? Some things are okay. Even if I get cereal in the morning, I am not going to cry about that. I will still eat it if I am hungry. But I may prefer having idli, sambar or whatever. That's a different thing because that's how I grew up also. It all depends on how you grew up, where you grew up, etc. But then there are some other things where I have an idea that if I do not have this, I cannot be happy. Or if I have this, I cannot be happy. That is also a bigger problem, right? Many times you are having things which you do not really want, but it is there, like mosquitoes are there, right? Nobody is happy with, I don't know, at least in US mosquito is not such a big problem, I think, unless you go for some camping and all that. But in when I used to grow up, mosquitoes were a big problem. Particularly some kind of mosquitoes, they will always be near your ears. They won't let you sleep at night. Okay? They are making noise right near your ear and it is very irritating. Correct? What do you do? In fact, with mosquitoes, the only thing you can do is you have to hide inside a net. Correct? All other animals we catch with a net. But with mosquito, you have to go and hide into the net. We used to do that actually. Okay. Anyway, so here, fulfilling my likes and dislikes, it's a valid pursuit in life. I won't say you should not try that. But the only problem with that is I want to see is, let us say you go to the most successful person in this world. Okay, as a thought experiment, or you can ask your own parents. They are all older than you, correct? You can ask them how many likes and dislikes in your entire life you fulfilled. Can you go and ask? You can ask your parents or your elders, your grandparents, or your school teachers, or whomever you think is a very successful person. Also you can ask. So if they audit their own life, they will all say that I did not even fulfill some 5%. I don't know, it may be like a basketball average, I think, correct? No, baseball average. In baseball, at least cricket average is much better, correct? You have 30, 40, 50. In baseball, it is all 0.2 or something. It is all in decimal. So it will be like baseball average, not very encouraging. So from this, what do we learn is that you are actually setting yourself up for failure. So clear by the very definition of the success, the way you define it only, you are setting yourself up for failure. Why? And this is also true, correct? Because many people whom you think are very, very successful, you go and talk to them, they will say that whatever you think is a big accomplishment and all does not really mean anything to them. In fact, I think Jim Carrey or some actor even said that, I wish all of you all success. Okay, whatever you want, let all of you be successful and get all that whatever you want. And then I know that you will find out none of that really matters. Okay, I think he made some statement like that. You can go and search Google and tell me also exactly what it is. I don't really remember that statement exactly, but this is something like this. He is supposed to have said that. But generally you think that Hollywood actor means he is some kind of like big guy, correct? Lot of money, fame and whatnot, and you are coveting such a lifestyle. But then the guy who actually has that really is not enjoying that life, or you cannot even claim, say that that fellow is really happy. So from that we have to learn something, right? If you are intelligent, not only should you learn from your own experiences, but we have to also learn from others' experience. Then only we are really intelligent. Okay? So that's why what does our tradition say is siddhi or success. Because being happy is the pursuit for everybody, but you think that by fulfilling all your likes and dislikes only you can be happy. But that does not seem to be the correct thing, because whoever actually fulfill their likes and dislikes also are not really happy. That we are seeing that. Okay. So then what is this happiness? In fact, I quoted one Gita verse already, correct? What is that verse? From 18th chapter I quoted one verse. Can anybody tell? I will give you. So I have to know, finish off all these things. So what was the Gita verse I quoted some time back? From the 18th chapter, which talked about success. Anybody remembers? Yatah pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam swakarmana tamabhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha. So this is the verse where Bhagavan is talking about siddhi. Siddhi means really success. Okay, you can translate siddhi as success. Means manavaha siddhim vindati. Human beings gain success. How? Swakarmana tamabhyarchya. By worshipping the Lord, by doing one's own duty. Swakarma here is doing your own duties. And what kind of, and whom you are worshipping? From whom everything has come. Yatah pravritir bhutanam. All the beings, from whom all the beings have come. By whom everything is pervaded. That Lord I worship by doing my own duties, and by that I become successful. Now this is the vision given in the Gita. This one verse alone is enough. In fact, you forget every other verse in Gita. This one verse, if you understand correctly, and then you can practice in your life whatever is said in that one verse, you will be successful and you will be happy. Okay, why do I say that, or how can I say that? Because even when I translate this verse, it is not very obvious, correct? What Bhagavan is saying here, really. So, in this, for this only, we have to understand that the human life, there are two sets of things are there. The human life itself is impelled by two different sets of things, let us say. One is your own likes and dislikes, right? Because you want to do many things based on your own likes and dislikes. That is fine. But then there is also another set which is right and wrong. So there is also something called right and wrong. Now even all of you children also know what is right and wrong. So don't tell me that I did not know what is wrong, that's why I did and all. You can give excuse like that, and your parents are really normally kind, okay, they may also accept it. But in reality, ignorance is not a defense. Okay, even once you have become older, even if you have some problem, if you go to the court, the judge will not accept. If you say, I did not know what is the law in Texas, so I did this, means that's not a defense, correct? Ignorance is not a defense in the court of law also. Even here also, none of you are really ignorant. Why? Because we all commonly sense certain things. Okay? What are all the things we commonly sense, let us say? So I say that everybody is 50% dharmic at least. Okay? Everybody is 50% dharmic. Why do I say that? Can anybody tell me? Why do I say that everybody is 50%? Like even a clock is there, at least even a broken clock is correct 2 times a day, correct? Like that, everybody is
Half correct. Half taking the right thing.
not do. See, What others should do to you, you are all very clear, correct? Others should always tell the truth. They have to say that also in a nice manner. Sweetly they have to talk. Okay, they should not threaten me, or they should not physically also nobody should be violent. Everybody should have non-violence. All in this with reference to others, how they should behave towards you, you are all 100% clear. Is that correct? That means you are 50% dharmic, because with reference to others' behavior, you know what is right. Correct? That all of you agree? Then the next part is the more difficult part. What a child does not really understand other than its own whatever needs or likes. Child doesn't understand even the parents also have likes and dislikes. Other children also have likes and dislikes. Really a small child does not know that. But you are no more a child, correct? As you grow up, what does growing up mean? It is not just physical growth, correct? But emotionally and also intellectually, when you grow, what do you understand? Others also have likes and dislikes, correct? Others are also like me. That means, if I want others to behave in a certain way towards me, I know very well that others also have the same expectations, correct? Whatever expectation you have from others, all others have the same expectation from me. Means this itself becomes a common matrix of values for us. That is what we call samanya dharma. So when we talk about dharma, dharma as a moral order, if we take, nobody needs to teach you, understand that. Nobody has to give you any commandment and all that. Without giving any commandment, we all commonly sense what is right and what is wrong, because you all know what others should do to you. What is right behavior towards you, you are 100% clear. And you are also clear what the other person also wants. This itself, then that means what? That's why we say ahimsa, satyam. All these things are all samanya dharma, that is truthfulness, non-violence. These are all samanya dharma. Means samanya dharma means commonly sensed, you can say, correct? Or common sense itself, you can say. It is really commonly sensed matrix of values, which all of us know that. But we not only know that, we also know so many other things. So in our tradition, we also have a vishesha dharma. There is a samanya dharma, there is a Vishesha Dharma. What is Vishesha Dharma? Vishesha Dharma is that all of us have so many roles in life, correct? As a child also, that is a role, but child doesn't really do anything other than maybe the child still, by being a child only you give some happiness to your parents and others. Other than that you don't contribute anything. But as you grow up, understand, growing up means what? Your contributions are increasing. Is that clear? So my Guruji used to say, when do you really become an adult? You become an adult when you contribute more than you consume. Is that clear? Because as a child you are only a consumer. But as you grow up, what? Even when you are children, you can help your mother and all that, correct? Household chores and all. So many things. In US it is even more difficult. Understand that in India at least life is easier in many ways, I think. But here you have to do everything, and only if your parents are doing means you have to contribute something, right? That means you are growing up. The more you contribute, the more you are becoming adult. So when do you really become adult? When you contribute more than you consume, you are really an adult. But anyway, the point here is, as you grow up, then you also understand your roles. That I am a child. But even a child has certain duties towards their parents. Or you go to school, means you become a student, correct? You have the role of a student. Now what is the duty? Once I say a role, all roles are coming with some duties. Is that clear or not?
Yes.
Clear to you, correct? Every role which you play has also a duty. That is the Swakarma. Bhagavan talks about Swakarma, correct? Means you have to do your duties. But what is the problem in doing your duties? Where does the problem? Where is the problem in doing your duties? Or what problem you face normally? Huh? So you have to do something, but you don't like to do that. Is that correct? Because duty means that which has to be done. Correct? Duty means kartavya. Even in Samskritam we say kartavya means what? Kartavya means that which has to be done. That which has to be done means in spite of your likes and dislikes. Is that clear or not? Whatever is to be done in spite of your likes and dislikes is what is called duty. Is it clear, all of you? But are you able to do it or not? When you, but you are like, although I say very easily in spite of your likes and dislikes, but the likes and dislikes are always a problem with reference to your duties. Right? That is the human problem, in fact, not only for children, it is for everybody. Right? The human conflict itself in the Gita is very simply, Bhagavan sees it as only the conflict between your duties and your own likes and dislikes. Now, when do you become successful according to Bhagavan? What does he say? He says, Swakarmana tamabhyachya, not swaragadveshaya. Swakarmana. So, whatever you are supposed to do by doing that, again, means you are doing it in spite of your likes and dislikes. That is what you have to do. And that itself is a worship for us. How can that become a worship? No, these are all questions, correct? Again, I have to tie it up with the original vision also. I said, Bhagavan, everything is Bhagavan here, correct? All that is here is a manifestation of one Bhagavan only. Even though we may see different things here, different human beings, it is like even in a dream you see so many sentient beings, but all of them are nothing but your own mind, correct? It is your own consciousness. So like that, here there are so many things are there. So many objects are there, sentient, insentient, everything is one. Now this vision we have to tie it to your, by doing the duty, why do you feel happy? Or how do you become successful? It's all tied up. That is the beauty of our tradition. So how do we tie it up all? Anyway, first we understand that, like I said, we all sense what is right and what is wrong. And there is likes and dislikes. Let us say, if your like and what is right aligns, then how is your life? Tell me. Very easy, correct? There is no conflict. You are spontaneously right, you are spontaneously dharmic, and you are going to feel happy about it. There is no conflict also. You do whatever is to be done, but that's what you really like. Similarly, whatever is wrong and what you don't like also aligns very well. Then also, nobody needs to drag you from something, correct? Whatever is wrong or whatever should not be done, you anyway don't like it. You are so happy. And in fact, your parents will be more happy, in fact. Okay, so like this, but then that's not what happens. Most of the time what? Somebody said that whatever I like is either illegal, immoral or calorific, correct? And like that. So that is where the conflict comes. Now, even though this conflict is there, if you go with your likes and dislikes, what happens? That also we have to understand, correct? Every day in our life, we are doing so many things, and you are impelled by your own likes and dislikes to do things. And when you go like that, let us say you do something wrong. Like I said, you do something wrong, knowing very well that it is wrong. So you cannot claim any ignorance and all that. You know that's what we call conscience also, correct? In English there is a word called conscience. In Tamil we say manasakshi. In Indian languages also it is there. There is a manasakshi. Sometimes it wants you also. The movie and all will show you separately. The conscience will come out of your body and want you. But still you will go ahead and do whatever you want to do. You don't listen to that. You say just shut up. Go away. Don't come to me. Like that. No, that is the problem. So if you do like that, what happens? You know that you have done something wrong. So whenever you know you have done something wrong, what is that feeling got? Guilt, right? You are going to gain guilt. Then the other thing is you have done something wrong, only you know it to start with, correct? But then what else? What if others know? Means there is fear, correct? There is fear that somebody else may find out, they will punish, my teacher will know, my parents will know, they are going to shout at me, all these things. So basically, if you go with your likes and dislikes and do something wrong, you may gain whatever you want to, correct? I am not denying that. Even there is no guarantee, let us say. But you are definitely going to have guilt and fear. That is one side. Now let us say you do something right even though you don't like it. Okay, but then a lot of willpower is required. You have to fight with yourself. But you fight with yourself and do the right thing, let us say. Then what kind of feeling you have? Tell me. What is the feeling? You feel good about yourself, correct? Because I did something right. I did the right thing. Even though I was tempted by so many different things, I did the right thing. So when you do the right thing, there is no guilt, there is no fear. In fact, you have a self-confidence, correct? You feel our self-respect and all that we can say. You feel better about yourself. Now all these things in our tradition we call it drishta phalam. Drishta phalam means what? That which you experience immediately. Because you want something, you make effort for that thing, you may get it, you may not get it. But you have a certain, directly, immediately you have an experience. So if you get whatever you want, you are happy. Sometimes you get more than what you wanted also, correct? Or what you expected. Then you feel you are very lucky, you are ecstatic. Or many times you get less than what you really wanted. Then okay, that's how life is, correct? Or sometimes you never even did anything, you find yourself in some hospital and all that. That is also a possibility, you don't know. So like this, in spite of my effort, the results of my efforts can be anything. There is no guarantee there. That means there are other factors which are actually acting. Because always don't think that only your effort alone is giving you results. That's not true also, right? Even children, you all know. Some exams you studied very hard, but the questions were even harder. Some exam you never studied anything, but whatever one or two things you studied, only that day asked and you got a lot of marks also and you feel very good. Like this, always the results you get cannot be correlated with the effort you have put in. That is a common experience, not only for you, for every adult, for everybody else. So that means our effort definitely is required, but beyond that also there are certain factors, unknown factors are there. After that only whatever results are a function of that we can say. So this is the reality of my experience. Now our Veda comes and tells that for whatever effort you make, for any action you do, there are two results are there. Okay, two types of results. One is the drishta phalam, I already said. Drishta phalam means what? Whatever you wanted, you get, maybe you get it or you get less, more, etc. And again, based on whether you did something right or wrong, you are either having guilt, fear, or you are feeling good about yourself. All these things are all drishta phalam. So drishta phalam is there. But since, like I told you, your effort alone does not result in the whatever you wanted really, correct? That means that extra, what is that extra factor? Means it says it is your own papa or punya. So what is this papa punya? This papa punya is very unique to our tradition, understand that. Of course, even in US nowadays, everybody talks about karma and all that. Karma has become an English word now. It is there in English study. But really it is our vision, correct? And some people are wearing some t-shirt and all that. I saw karma is a bitch and all that. I don't know what it really means, but anyway, it means something here. I don't get all the slang or phrase which are popular here. But there are things like that. But the word karma is very popular even in US. But karma really is what? This papa punya only is called as karma. Because in any language, a word can be used, karma means action really. But a word can also mean the result of that action. Is it clear? So karma can mean action or it can mean the results of action. So when we say karma, like in the popular parlance, karma really there is the result of the action which is papa and punya. And how do we get this papa punya? Means if you do something right, you get punyam. Is that clear? Other than that drishtabam, you are also getting punyam additionally. That is the second type of result I told you. Similarly, if you do something wrong, you are also gaining papam. No, this punya and papa are also called adrishta. Correct? Adrishta phalam. Now, what is the meaning of adrishta? Can anybody tell me? How do you translate it into English? Adrishta? Huh? Luck. So she said luck. See, that is the wrong translation. Okay? Luck. It is not really luck. This adrishta word is there in all our Indian languages. Literally, it means unseen. Okay? Drishtam means seen. That all of you will know, I think, correct? Darshanam Pranam is also from that only. Drishta means whatever is seen. Drishta Pranam means immediately you have seen, you have experienced. Adrishta means you cannot see it. That doesn't mean it is luck. Understand it? Because luck means it is random, it is chance. We are not saying it is random. Whatever you are going through in your life also is your own papa and punya. It is your own making. Is that clear? You cannot blame anybody. If you are a Sanatana Dharmi, you cannot blame anybody. Not even Bhagavan. Because it is your own papa and punya only you are facing every day, we say. Why? Because you are gaining that also. Whenever you do something right, you are gaining punya. Whenever you do something wrong, you are gaining papa. And then what do we say? How does this papa and punya affect you? Means punya will fructify as pleasant, desirable experiences for you. Papa will fructify as unpleasant, undesirable experiences. Now you can ask, what is the proof for this? If there is no proof, understand this. There is no microscope and all, you cannot see, okay, here, whether how much papa, punya is there, you cannot see with microscope and telescope and all that. It is a belief, but it is a believable belief, understand that. Why? Because it goes along with my life experience, correct? Like I told you already, in my life, whatever I get is not always a function of my effort alone, correct? There is something more. So sometimes you feel that I am putting lot of effort, but nothing is happening. Or sometimes you think that, no, I am just enjoying myself and still I am getting all the things are more than whatever I want. So that is why we say that this papa punya is a very important factor in your day-to-day life also. Every day we are undergoing something pleasant or something unpleasant. Right? Even one peanut is good enough to spoil your whole day. Normally I like these peanuts. Right? In US you get good peanuts, but there are some bad peanuts in that. And it's not very easy to spot. Only after you bite it, you know that I shouldn't have done this. Right? It spoils the whole mouth, and for the next half a day also it is still there. It is lingering somewhere in your mouth. Like that, one bad peanut can make or break your day. Like that. So you cannot blame anybody also for that. Correct? So this papa punya is what is fructifying every day. Okay? And once you accept papa punya is there, then all papa punya also cannot fructify in this life, correct? Because you are gaining a lot of papa punya. So if you have studied accounts, correct? Some of you may be already studying accountancy and all that. In accountancy, what do? The account does not close in the same year, correct? Most of the time you have to carry forward. The balance always carries forward to the next financial year. There is always some balance. Somebody has to give you something or you have to give somebody something. So credit, debit and all that, there is always some balance carrying forward. No, that means once you accept karma, understand that the entire karma you cannot exhaust in this life. Means what will happen? You have to again be born. And we don't know what the next life will be also. Understand that. Now you have got a human life, means it is a great thing. In our tradition we say that getting a human life itself is a great blessing. Not all, you see all other lives, there are dogs are there, cats are there, wild animals are there. Their life is not easy, correct? You go and watch, one day you watch all this Discovery Channel and all that, poor buffalo and all that, how it is suffering, correct? Doesn't even lions suffer. Once they become old, then other lions will come and kill it, literally, correct? There is no, it's a very brutal life, correct? It's a difficult life. That's why we say animal life means you are only, that is all papa. Basically you are expending all your papa. Then we also have a concept of devas, means heavenly beings. But they are only enjoying all the time. Then you are only expending your punya. But this life, human life, is one where you are creating more punya and papa, and you are also experiencing punya and papa. This is the Mishra, means mixed life. We say this is our understanding. So your life, whatever you are facing, is because of your own effort and also because of the papa and punya which has started this life, we have to say, correct? Once we talk about karma, the karma which you have gained in this life, which will fructify later, is called agami. Agami karma means that which will come later, which will fructify later. Whatever you have gained newly, but which has to fructify later, either in this life or in some other life, is called agami. And all the karma which you have collected and accumulated in your bank account is called sanchita. Now, how much sanchita is there, nobody knows, because it's all our understanding of creation itself is that it's an endless cycle. It's correct, beginningless and endless cycle. So you cannot say how much is there, but from that accumulated karma, whatever karma has made you take this birth, is what we call prarabdha. Means this has already started. Because think about this. You were born, correct? You did not choose your parents. Neither your parents chose you, I think. But all of us are born. So when you are born, everything is given to you, correct? Everything is given. This air is given with the right percentage of oxygen, correct? If oxygen suddenly becomes 80%, also it is a problem. Too much oxygen also is a problem. Or it becomes too less. Like you go to some Everest base camp and all that, oxygen becomes less than 50% of normal here, means you will be struggling to even breathe. Many people have altitude sickness and all that. You cannot really function there very easily. Means Bhagavan has given everything in the right proportion actually for us. Water is given, all the plants and food and all are given, correct? Everything is given to you. As soon as you are born, everything is there. Means if everything is given to you, should you not recognize the giver? Correct? We have to recognize the giver. Whenever something is given to you, we have to recognize the giver, and for us that giver is Bhagavan. Understand that. That Bhagavan is the giver. And in fact, we have to understand one more level here, and that is what we say, Bhagavan is the giver of the results of all my action. Is it clear? Karma phala data. Bhagavan is the one who is manifest as everything here, but specially when we look at Bhagavan, we say Bhagavan is the one who is giving me the results of all my action. Is that clear? Why this particular understanding is important? Because I said that this papa and punya is there, correct? That is very important for us. One of the most important things in our understanding is that if you do something right, you gain punya. Not only immediately you feel good, later also it will make you or it will make you happy, or it will give you some pleasant experience. Similarly, if you do something wrong, even in the short term also it's a bad bargain. Why? Because you are feeling guilt and you are feeling fear. But later on also it will hurt you. Why? Because it is going to give you unpleasant experiences. So for us, what is success? Is that you should do the right thing. You should not do the wrong thing. In spite of your likes and dislikes. Then you become successful in life. Not by fulfilling all your likes and dislikes. Is that clear? What is our definition of success? Can you tell me now again? What?
Following your duty despite
Correct. So doing the right things and following your duties, because all the roles come with duties. Is that clear? All our roles come with duties. Whether you are a student means your primary duty is to study. Understand that? And because in that age only you can study a lot, you can earn. As you grow older, only your abilities are only going down and down. It's not going to increase. Understand that. So whenever when your abilities are at the maximum, learn maximum in that age, so that it will help you later. Similarly, once you get married, means you have duties as a spouse. When you have children, means you will have duties as parents. And again, if you go to work, you will have duties as an employee. And if you become an entrepreneur and have your own business, then you are an employer. Correct? You will have duties as an employer. And throughout you have duty as a citizen also. Because the state also expects certain things from you. Correct? In US you have juror duty and all that. At least in India we don't have that. We only vote once in 5 years. But even that also many people don't do. So even state has some duties. As a citizen you have duties. So everywhere duties. From this what do you understand? Our culture is a culture of duties. And we say that by doing your duty only you can be really happy also. That is dharma for us. Because dharma means it has to make you happy in the end. Or even in the beginning also it has to make you happy if you have the right understanding. Mostly we have a certain delusion thinking that whatever I like, if I get, I will be happy. But many times that only leads you to all kinds of problems. Is that clear? So this is one of the important things. Now, since you understand this papa and punya, now our religious life also comes into the picture. Because how do I now take care of my papa and enhance my punya? Because even in my life, every day I know that something unpleasant can happen. There is always a potential for something unpleasant to happen. And this prarabdha karma, like we say, the karma which has started this life, is like, in the tradition we say, it is like the mukta issue. Means what? It is like an arrow which has already left the bow. Or it is like a missile which has left the launcher. Let us say, nowadays it is a better example. Now if a missile has left the launcher, how do you take care of it? Can you do anything? Why? You can't do anything? Huh? What people are doing? If some rocket is fired means?
The other rocket.
There is something, there are rocket defense and all is there, right? Missile defense. You can fire another missile and intercept the original missile. Correct? Is it there or not? Have you heard about that?
Yes.
It is there, correct? Yeah. So even though the arrow has left the bow, you can let another arrow faster, and then what? You can actually take that whatever. You can redirect it or whatever, so that it doesn't come to you. It goes somewhere else. Now for that only we have to do prayers every day. Understand that in our tradition, prayer is mainly for adrishtapam. Nitya karma and all we say, correct? Every day you have to pray. Prayer also shows a certain gratitude towards the giver. Because I told you everything is given, correct? You did not create anything in this world. You are born, everything is there to take care of you. Means should you not have some gratitude then? So the prayer also shows your gratitude, but it also is an action. mainly for the purpose of adrishtam, means you are through prayer. I want to produce more punya and less, and also resolve whatever, take care of my papa, so that I don't have any unpleasant experiences. So this is one of the important things. That's why our entire life we can live prayerfully. Lot of prayers are there. As soon as you get up only you have what, Karagre, Vasate. We have that tradition, correct? I don't know whether you have been taught it. Many of you may be going to Balavihar and so many other classes. They will teach you, correct? So when you get up, we normally see our hands and then say that here in the Karagre, Vasate Lakshmi. Lakshmi is there. And here Saraswati is there. Like that, even that means what, they are all not anywhere else. They are there right in your hands, correct? For us, Bhagavan is manifest everywhere means, understand the importance of that. Your own body mind sense complex also is not away from Bhagavan. Is that clear? Everything is Bhagavan means, including your own body mind sense complex. Not only your own body mind sense complex, everybody else also is manifestation of Bhagavan. That's why we can do Namaste to everybody. Understand that. When we are doing Namaste, you are doing Namaste to the Bhagavan also who is there in the other person. It's not only for that person. It is like saying, see, these two hands are there, right? You can say these are separate. This is one hand, right hand, this is left hand. But when you bring together, what do we say? Namaste. And when you bring together, what is the meaning here? It is both one, correct? It is still me. It belongs to one body. Although these are two different hands, it belongs to one body only, correct? One person only. Like that, so many people, so many things are there, but everything is only one. That is the vision. Our vision is always of oneness. It is not entirely incorrect. Why? Because if Bhagavan is everything, all forms are also Bhagavan's forms, correct? Each and every form is really Bhagavan. Like you say, you go to a jewelry shop, correct? Now there are, and it is only golden jewelry is there. Now how many ornaments are there? Okay, you can go and buy a bangle, earring, chain, whatever you want, okay? So many things, different varieties are there. So when you look at it as all these things, there are hundreds of thousands of items are there, correct? But then how many golds are there? If you look at it as gold, there is only one gold alone is there, correct? There are not many golds. It is all only gold. If you look at the name and form, hundreds are there. But if you look at it as the substance, there is only one. Like that, that is again our vision here. So we can worship Bhagavan in any form. It can be 33 crore forms also, not at all a problem. In fact, Devatas, each and every phenomenon in this world is looked upon as a manifestation of Bhagavan. For example, you are able to see, correct? Your eyes are seeing. But the thing is, all eyes are also seeing, correct? My eye is seeing, your eye is seeing. Not only my eye and your eye, even the dog's eye is seeing, cat's eye is seeing. Means sight as a phenomenon is there all over, correct? It is countless places, sight as a phenomenon is there. Now that is the manifestation of Bhagavan for us. And what do we call that Devata? Who is the Devata for eye? Can anybody tell me? Not elders. Aditya is the Devata, right? That's why Aditya Hridayam we say. If you have eyesight problem, you have to chant Aditya Hridayam because we have specific prayers. We have generic prayers. So when we look upon each and every phenomenon as a Devata, then you also have a prayer for that Devata with reference to that phenomenon. Sight is a phenomenon. Hearing is a phenomenon, correct? All ears are hearing. Then walk itself is a phenomenon, correct? The ability to speak, the organ of speech and speech itself is a phenomenon. Then Agni is the Devata for speech, okay? Like each and everything we have Devatas, and that is 33 crore means so many things are there. 33 crore again is only Upalakshana, it is Ananta. Okay. So like this, we can have Ananta, our gods are endless, countless, but it is still only one or only one. We have to say, correct? Both are true. Like saying macro world, everything is true. Classical physics is true. That's how this whole world is functioning. But then quantum physics also is true, even though they may be looking contradictory, correct? Is that clear? In its own area, everything is true. But we have to always transcend the appearance and understand the reality behind it. So with that understanding, now you can practice. The most important practice is what? You have to be dharmic. You have to do the right thing. In fact, freedom is another important thing I wanted to tell you. Is that many people think that to be free, youth also are very big about free, right? I want to be free. I don't want to be with my parents. I want to be free. Now what is this freedom? Freedom also is not doing whatever you like. Is that clear? If you do whatever you like, you will end up in prison finally. You won't have any freedom. So freedom is not doing whatever you like. In fact, some t-shirts also I saw recently. My life, my rules. In fact, there is no my rules. Understand that. Rules are already there. When you were born, rules were already there. While you are growing up also, rules are there. It is not your rule. Is Bhagavan really. The moral order, Papa Punya, everything is manifestation of Bhagavan, and you sense it also. And it is not your rule. It is Bhagavan's rule is there already. All you have to do is go along with that. If you are in harmony with Bhagavan's Dharma, you are always happy. If you are in disharmony with that, you will always have guilt, fear, and also you will not end up happy. So that is the most important thing. Means freedom means free enough to do the right thing. Understand that. What is freedom for us? You are free enough to do the right thing. Correct? It's not free means I will do whatever I want. You go and step on somebody else's toe means that fellow will give you one nicely. Correct? That's not freedom. Freedom means we have to respect the order. And you should be able to do the right thing. If you are not able to do the right thing, then you are not really free, because then you are pressured by your own likes and dislikes, correct? You are a slave to your likes and dislikes. That's how our Shastra says. So real success, real freedom is what? You are able to do the right thing. And even if you are confused about what is right, let me say this also, because mostly you know what is right and wrong. I assume that, but sometimes Dharma Sankata also is recognized in our Shastra, in our Purana and all that. Then you have the responsibility to know what is right still. Okay, if you are confused, being a human being, you have the responsibility to know what is right and what is wrong. You should ask your parents, you should ask your elders, you should ask your gurus, you should ask those who are interested in upholding Dharma, what is the right thing. Understand that it is said in Taittiriya Upanishad also. Okay, all these things I am not saying. It is all from our Veda only. So you have to go and ask whoever is Dharma Kamaha, those who are desirous of upholding Dharma, such people, means you should seek advice from those who do not have any conflict of interest. That is also important. So these are all the things I am telling you. Of course, the individual details, what you practice in every day and all will come from your own parents, your kulam, whatever. Okay? I don't have to go into that detail. But in general, what? Yatah pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam swakarmana tamabhyarcha siddhim vindati manava. This verse don't forget, okay? Whatever any other Gita you can forget, but this verse is the most important verse. Follow that, means you are practicing our Dharma, and I think in the process now you have also understood what our Dharma is. So our Dharma is that all that is here is only Bhagavan, and our entire way of life is based on that. Is that clear? Okay. Oh, any other questions? Anything? I don't know whether we have time, but
2-3 questions. The gift card.
whoever asked him, whoever answered will give. Or all the children? No, we have all the children. All of them answered. Yeah, come. You have one.
Come on, you identify and you give. Whoever asks questions or answer.
Whoever participated, please. Come.
Michael, Jalo.
Oh, Neva.
Participation. It's okay. Kurtu vai.
Yeah, tell you what is also there.
So you want to answer?
Ah.
Where are you? Hey,
Take. Done all.
you go India, stay in India. Michael. No, Michael. Okay. Now we'll honor our speaker. यो वेदादो स्वर प्रोक्तो वेदान्ते प्रतिष्ठितः तस्य प्रकृतिहीनस्य परस्व महेश्वरः पार्वती Thank you. Please come again more, and we want you to answer the questions that they have. This is more of a monologue, but we want it to become a dialogue. So if anybody wants to stay here, and he is more than ready to answer your question. He is passionate about teaching. So if you have questions, do not hesitate to ask him. Okay. Now we can finish the conversation.
Yes.
The mic will stay on. So you have a question? Let me set the protocol because people are waiting for chai. Because people are really interested. That's only 10%, I think. The rest are waiting for chai. No, I'm kidding. So we'll do a Shanti Mantra, okay? And then we'll still open up. Whoever has questions can stay here. Whoever does not have questions can go have samosa chai. Everybody has chai. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Thank you, Didi. Please come more often. If you have questions, please ask. Mic, you want to go? Your mic is there. The samosa crowd will be loud. Okay, anybody has questions? Yeah. Janu has questions. Who has questions? Youngsters. Yeah, you should have questions.
I have 2 questions. Number 1, what do you think about other religions? Because their Dharma will be subjective, right? Because for example, some religions might eat meat and that's wrong for us. So does that mean that they have a bunch of papa?
That's a good question. See, of course I talked about Vishesha Dharma, right? There is Samanya Dharma and Vishesha Dharma. In the given time I did not go in detail to that. Vishesha Dharma means, I said, role-based. Your lifestyle, the roles also are very important, and the duties along with that. When you look at that, sometimes the roles, the duty of a role may look as though it is conflicting with the Samanya Dharma. If we say that ahimsa is paramo dharma, but then it cannot always apply, right? Suppose you are a soldier, you become a soldier, you take up the role of a soldier, means protecting is the most important duty for you now. So if somebody else is actually causing harm, then your duty as a protector will trump the fact that then you have to use even violence to actually protect the people from others who are threatening them or whatever. So that way we have to interpret that. Nothing wrong with that. That is what, again, that is the right thing in that situation. In fact, after becoming a soldier, you should not say, I will not fight. You cannot say, ahimsa paramo dharma, I will not use my gun or something. Correct? When the other guy is shooting at people, you have a duty to protect, means you have to protect. nothing wrong in that. Like that, so once you have taken up certain roles and then the lifestyle also have to go along with that. That's why we don't have anything absolute like everybody has to be a vegetarian. It is not like that. Understand that? Because the vegetarianism also is only absolute for certain people, not for everybody. Because if you have a role as a soldier and you are living in a forest, you cannot say always I will be vegetarian, correct? Or you are traveling to so many places and all that, you go to some Tibet, you won't get any plants only there. What are you going to eat then? So that way, depending on your situation, one can become a non-vegetarian also. But what do we say is you have to progress. As you grow in your life, with ashrama also sometimes all these things have to change. Because when you are a grihastha and you are working actively in society, certain things are right. But once you become a vanaprasthi or once you retire, then again even that person who was non-vegetarian can become a vegetarian later in life and all that. So that's why we don't have anything absolute. Is that clear? So we have to interpret it depending on what that person's particular station in life is and also what the roles that person is playing.
Going off of that, right? If you had heaven and hell, so I heard from Appa that each person in our religion has to go through like some sort of like heaven for all of the punyam that they did and papa for all of the bad things that they did. But then how come whenever they're reborn, some people are born with less things like homeless and some people are born rich?
That's what. That is because of your own karma only we have said. That means
so from the
whoever is born in a very rich family means that person in this life at least punya pradhana, more punya than papa.
And I have two questions, one lengthy, one short. I'm a 22-year-old medical school student, and I was born into a Brahmin family, and I was pretty devout for 20 years. But when I became 21, I became an atheist. And my question is, how can I help my mom understand that I will follow my best judgment, and she can teach me her values and give me her guidance, but not dictate the way I choose to live my life in a respectful way? How can I do that?
It's a very difficult question to see because one thing is you want your mother to change in some manner, in the sense that she has to accept you as you are. But she is trying to change you.
Exactly, that's the tension.
So both of you have a problem in the sense that you are not able to accept your mother as she is.
Yeah.
Nor she is able to accept you as you are. So this is a problem. This is again a human problem, correct? All of us want to change others in the way that we would like it or something like that. Yeah, but the best thing is you have to accept your mother for what she is, correct? Because she is who she is because of her own experiences and the way she has been brought up and all that. I think if you become more acceptable or whatever, accepting of your mother, she will also change. Is the hope, correct?
Yeah.
Over a period of time.
I'm accepting of her. Like, I don't ask her to change her beliefs, but I just ask that she has
because
to.
Some of our parents think that it is their duty to guide their children, correct?
Yeah.
From there only it is coming. Because she will be talking to you in a certain manner. Because after all, she is your mother.
Yeah.
So she thinks that it is her duty to even because she thinks that you have become an atheist, this is not somehow correct. And all that. So she will have a certain reaction, I think.
Yeah.
So you have to face it. That's all I am saying. You cannot really hope that she will change. After a certain age, I don't think people change also.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. My second question is, how can you improve all the different aspects discussed in Hinduism, like the afterlife, or anything of that sort? It's difficult to prove, in my opinion, because you can't prove a negative. So I have a little example that I can give for this. So it's impossible for me to prove that there are no leprechauns in the world, because I can't go searching everywhere on this earth for a leprechaun. That's not on me to prove. If someone suggests that there is a leprechaun on the earth, the burden of proof is on that person to show me that leprechaun. It's not on me for me to go out and find a leprechaun. So in the same way, it's hard for me to believe that there's an afterlife or any of the million things discussed, the 33 crore there does, not 34 crore, but 33 crore, all the different details and all the things discussed. I think it requires a lot of blind faith in you accepting those things and then forming your life based on that.
But I think I can answer you, but it will be a more detailed answer. But anyway, let me try to tell you certain things. Even this idea of proof and what is faith and all that, we have to have certain understanding of it. More than that, we should also have an understanding of our theory of knowledge itself. What do we call as valid knowledge? The validity of knowledge, let us say. For example, let us say this is yellow, you are saying, correct? How do you say this is yellow? Because your eyes are reporting that this is yellow. But how can you prove that your eyes are seeing correctly? There is no proof for that. Because eyes alone can reveal color. Your ear cannot come and say this is yellow. I cannot lick it and say it is yellow. I cannot smell it and say it is yellow. Nor is it making any sound for my ears to say it is yellow or anything. So basically you are believing your sense organs, right? Your sense organs are actually operating automatically and they are revealing to you something. And at a fundamental level you are accepting it is a valid cognition. Because your sense organs are revealing to you whatever is there. Now in this, what we say is any valid knowledge, there are two characteristics we say in our tradition. What are those two characteristics? A valid knowledge should be revealed through a valid means of knowledge. And that valid means of knowledge should reveal to me something which is not knowable through any other means. Or it is something unique should be there. A unique field of revelation has to be there for every knowledge which I am gaining. For example, my eyes only reveal color, right? Ears only reveal sound, and nose is only revealing fragrance and all that. Each of that is unique, right? And one cannot prove the other nor disprove it. Is it clear or not? A means of knowledge means, this is what we call anadhigata in Sanskrit. Anadhigata means that which is not already gained. So whatever we gain through a valid means of knowledge should be a unique field of revelation associated with that means of knowledge. Then only it is useful. Otherwise, if something else also can reveal me the same thing, then I need not use this, right? I can even get it from somewhere else. But the more important point is it should be abhadita. It cannot be negated. It cannot be negated. So for example, I see mirage water. Initially I see mirage water and I take it as true. And I am hungry or I am thirsty. What do? I go towards that. But when I go near and see, the new cognition says that there is no water. Correct? That means the one cognition has negated the other cognition. Okay? So in this, what we say is, an error is always established by another powerful cognition or more stronger cognition. But knowledge is self-valid, we say. Self-valid means any cognition, as long as you think that it is coming from a valid means of knowledge, is valid. And you don't require any proof. In fact, you cannot prove it because by definition it is revealing something which is unique. The field of revelation is unique. That means it can neither be proved nor be disproved, but it should not be negated. That is the most important thing. That's how we define knowledge itself in our system. Once you understand this, then I think your view of what the Veda is saying, what the Puranas are saying and all will be different, because we accept the Veda as a valid means of knowledge. Is that clear? Like you are accepting the eyes as a valid means of revealing color, we are accepting that whatever the Veda is revealing to me is valid because I take the Veda itself as a valid means of knowledge, and that is what is called Shraddha in our tradition. Understand that? Shraddha Astikaha means one who accepts that the Veda is a valid means of knowledge. Now, once you have accepted it, only one kind of analysis we can do. What is that? Whatever is said by the Vedas should never be negated by any other established knowledge. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Which is not going to happen, which we have already analyzed all that. That is what is called Mimamsa. So by definition, Veda has to reveal to me something which is not available to my sense perception and my inference.
I understand.
Then only it is useful to me. Otherwise, I will go to MIT or IISc and study science. Correct? If you say Veda is scientific, I will rather study science. In fact, you are telling me something like that. Okay?
Yeah. But
so, what I am saying is totally different. I am saying Veda is useful to me only because what it is telling me is beyond science. You understand what I am saying? And that's why I said not everything scientific is valid, not everything which is beyond science is invalid. You have to understand that much.
I think it's a fundamental difference in what we choose to believe, because I think it's
That's
not.
what I cannot force you to accept the Veda as a means of knowledge. I agree that.
Yeah.
That's why I told you it is Shraddha.
In the beginning,
Unless you have Shraddha, you will not gain from the Veda because you have negated it even before using it.
Yeah. And in the beginning, you also said that the Vedic vision is illogical and something that we have to accept.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I said it cannot be illogical. All other theologies are illogical. Vedic vision is beyond logic.
So it's beyond logic. It doesn't come
Because logic itself is very limited, right? Because logic, see, even in Sanskritam we are saying that Tarkasya apratishthana, like that there's a Dharma Sutra also here. Tarka has no pratishtha. Logic is only a system. Given initial assumption, it can lead you to some deduction, correct, or an endpoint. It's only a methodology. But who is going to give you the initial starting point? That logic cannot give.
Yeah.
In general, that is given by perception.
Yes.
Okay? In scientific world, in fact, perception itself is enhanced today because we have a telescope,
Exactly.
microscope and all that. So we have enhanced perception and sophisticated logic which can be summarized as scientific method and all that. But by definition I am saying Veda is beyond all this scientific realm, and that is why it is useful to me.
So then I have just one last follow-up question. If you cannot sense, based on your perception, that this is true and you're choosing to believe it, even though your perception cannot reach that limit, isn't that blind faith?
It is not, no. In fact, your perception is many times deceiving you. You are seeing snake in rope, still you believe your eyes. You are seeing mirage water, still you believe your eyes. So, perception also is not 100% correct, still you are believing that. But in the case of Veda, you have not even tried it and you have rejected. It is like saying, let me give you an analogy. See, let us say somebody is blind from childhood. Okay, now that person undergoes an operation. Okay. Now the doctor says, okay, open your eyes, you will see. Now this person is saying, no, I will not open my eyes. You first prove my eyes will see. Then only I will open my eyes. Can you prove? You can never prove, right? The proof of a means of knowledge is in using it. There cannot be any independent proof by definition. That's what I want you to understand. So this whole idea of proof, scientific and all that is actually non-understanding the entire premise.
I understand. Then one last question based on this, and I'll just skip the mic to the next person. Sorry guys. Just one last question. Do you think it's wrong that most Hindu people these days will use science to rationalize their religion, even though they believe that science is beyond? Hinduism is beyond science.
That is all science understands. That's what what they really want to say is they are confusing scientific and validity. By saying something is scientific, all they are trying to convey is that it is valid. But what I am saying is validity has got nothing to do with scientific.
Yeah.
In fact, many scientific things, whatever you think was valid 10-20 years back, now science itself is saying it is invalid. So the science itself is inconclusive in many ways, and there is no point in holding on to something scientific and all that.
Yeah.
Whatever is coming generation after generation, which is something nowadays they call it as anti-fragile. Okay, I will anyway go with something which is anti-fragile than some whatever scientific study and all that which may not be even replicable. Correct?
I think there's a sincerity and a genuine sense of sincerity when Hinduism is viewed as a faith, but I think it's very manipulative when it's used as a science and
It's not science, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
See, the traditional, you take Rigveda Bhashya, Sayana has written. In the introduction, what he says, what is Veda? He is defining. How do we look at the Veda? What is this Veda? He says, Pratikshena Anvityava, Yestu Upayuna Buddhyate, Yenam Vidanti Vede, Tasma Vedasya Vedata. Like this he is giving a verse. Whatever is not available to Pratiksha means sense perception and inference, Anuman. That alone we are learning from the Veda. He is very clear. In fact, Veda is Veda only because of that. So by that definition itself, Veda can never be scientific. In fact, you are demeaning the Veda by saying it is scientific. You understand? That is my view. Veda should not be scientific, then only it is useful to me. I don't want Veda to be scientific, then I will study science, correct?
Yeah.
Why should I study the Veda?
Yeah.
Veda should give me something new, something which is beyond science, then only it is useful.
Yeah.
So that is the reason why I study the Veda.
Okay.
And in fact, science itself is very restricted. Because at the end of the day, science restricts itself by saying everything should be objective. But what about the subject then?
Yeah.
Science is struggling. They don't even, most of the scientists cannot even agree whether there is a mind or not. Whether mind is separate from matter or not. Or beyond the mind, whether something conscious being is there or not. Nothing, they have no consensus in anything.
Yeah.
And even when the quantum physics talks about an observer, they have no consensus about what that observer is. So they have no consensus anywhere. And why should we hold science in a pedestal? In fact, science is a science, it's a tool. Use it for what it is worth. But we cannot raise it into a pedestal, nor we should condemn it or anything. We need not be unscientific. All I am saying is we have to go beyond science. You give the respect which science deserves, no more, no less.
Thank you for your honest responses. Thank you.
I just wanted to ask, so when you were talking about like Papa Punya and the results of your actions and what we see the results right now, what about like being detached from those results? Because I know like sometimes Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita too that just do your duty and don't see your hands. That's the next step.
First you have to do your duty, right? That's what I told you today. And also I gave you some reasons why you should do that, right? Because that is your real success. That will be what will make you really happy. But even more than that, what Bhagavan says is Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. He is talking about a Samatvam in the Gita, which is very important. Because he says Karmani Eva Adhikara Hate. So it means you have Adhikara to do karma. It means you are qualified to do action. Because as a human being, I can do something, I need not do something, I can do something differently and all that. So I have that freedom. Or that's what we call freedom in that sense. But what is not under my realm is that what the results mean.
Yeah.
Results, as I told you, can be anything. That is our universal experience for everybody, correct? So results are not just a function of your effort alone. So you cannot consider yourself as an author of your own action. That is what Bhagavan, in fact Bhagavan is making a statement of fact. He is saying that you are free to do whatever you want to do. But the result, you are not really the author of your results. In fact, I am the author of the result. That's why we say Bhagavan is the Karma Phaladata. Because your own Papa Punya also is acting there. And who gave that Papa Punya? Means Bhagavan only has selected that Papa Punya to be exhausted in this life. That is our view. So in that manner we say Bhagavan is the Karma Phaladata. And that way at least if you do not consider yourself as the author of your results, you can never be a failure. It's clear.
Oh, okay. I get it. Yeah. Then what about the happiness?
In fact, by considering yourself as an author of the result, you are unnecessarily setting yourself up for failure. Is that clear?
Yes. Yeah. Then happiness is also not real, right? Because like
no, happiness is real in the sense that happiness is what when you do the right thing. That's all. You can still do the right thing and not get whatever you wanted, right? I am not talking about that. So that's why even in today, sports and so many other places, we always talk about the process, correct? Not about the result. If you are result oriented, you will fail in fact. Let us say a batsman is standing there and he is thinking of hitting a home run. But he doesn't see the ball coming in, how will he hit the home run? He is always thinking about hitting the ball outside the park. But first you have to see the ball properly and be prepared to hit it correctly, correct? Or whatever, you have to follow a certain process. So if you follow the process which is under your control, most often than not you will be successful. Is that clear? But even when you are not successful, you should be able to accept it. That is when you become a yogi. If you are not able to accept it, then you are still affected by your likes and dislikes. Is that clear? That's why you are not able to accept it.
Yeah.
But if you are able to accept even a perceived negative result, let us say, that means you have transcended your own likes and dislikes. Is that clear?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then you are always equanimous. Then you are a yogi. And that is what you have to strive for.
But then, like happiness, joy, these are all like fleeting emotions, right? They don't, they stay.
They come and go. That is the nature. You have to recognize that.
So that can be. Yeah, like what's the point of going after happiness when it's so fleeting? Like that can be like the goal for life, right? It's just.
That is you are now going even further. You are becoming a Vedanti, right? So that is true. See, that's what I told you. Even I asked a question, if you ask anybody, they say that they want to be happy all the time,
Yeah.
No, but the implication of that line they don't even understand. Because what you really see is limitless happiness. That means. Because a happiness which is not limited by space-time means, it is really limitless, correct?
Yeah.
Then how are you going to get that limitless happiness in anything you gain in this world? Because everything is limited here.
Yeah.
By definition, whatever you gain here, you have to spend something to gain, correct? There only is a problem.
Right.
Even after gaining, you have to spend something to maintain it. Even after you maintain it, it will go away. Then also you are going to suffer. So there is always suffering mixed with joy in anything in this worldly pursuit, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Whether you become president of US or you become something also, it is the same. But if you think that all this is useless and what I really seek is limitless happiness, and that's what I really want, then you come, I will teach you Vedanta.
Sounds good. And then one last question, how much of our life do you think is written by the Samskara Karma and the Prarabdha Karma? Because like, do I have control over some of my future, like my actions have meaning, or is everything?
But many major things, see there is something called Prabala Prarabdha also we talk about. Prabala means something which is very strong, correct?
Yeah.
So it's like even your own parentage, you did not choose it, correct?
Yeah.
You were born, even your childhood you did not choose. But your childhood is the most important thing in molding you as an adult.
Right.
Many of the things you feel as an adult is really dependent on what kind of experiences you have had as a child.
Yeah.
But that itself was not under your control, really speaking. That's all prarabdha, pure prarabdha, correct?
Right, yeah.
But even after becoming adult, you have a certain agency with you.
Yeah.
What you do with that is your purushartha. But even then, your childhood things are still controlling you in many ways subconsciously.
Right, yeah.
You can overcome that, but it is very tough. That's what.
Okay, so when we overcome that, we exercise our own free will.
That's where you exercise your free will. And that is what you should do also. We are saying that you should do that actually.
Then the concept of destiny and meeting people at a certain time in life, how true is that?
That is also true, because that is the prarabdha. We are not denying that.
Okay.
One is not mutually exclusive of the other. You understand that, correct?
Kind of.
Yeah.
So whatever happens around you is destined by your karma, but what you do with it is
correct. That's the thing. In fact, I can even give the analogy of a river. Correct? The river has a current. You are swimming in that. That is your life.
Yeah.
Now, if you where you want to go is downstream, then it is all punya, correct? You don't even have to make any effort.
Yeah.
The current will take you wherever you want. But assuming you want to go upstream, then it is a struggle, correct? Life is a struggle then. Because you have to put in lot more effort to overcome the current also. But sometimes current is so powerful, your effort doesn't matter. It's a flat means what is usual.
Yeah, makes sense.
Correct?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Swami. So my first question is, where does bhakti fall in the whole Vedanta?
Where does bhakti fall? Or bhakti means the very idea that you want to know the Swarupa of Bhagavan, correct? That itself is bhakti. That is the jignasa. See, Bhagavan talks about 4 types of bhaktas, correct? In the Gita, Artho, Jignasur, Artharthi, Jnani cha Bharatarshava, like that he classifies. So in general, people, those who have some Shraddha, they think that there is some other higher power than me, but you still want to keep that power on your side, right? In the Bhakta. So in that, some people only think about that when they are in some difficulty, right? That is the Artha Bhakta, we say. Artha means you are in some affliction, you are in some difficulty. Means till then when everything is sunny, you are all fine. But then some problem is there, means you think about Dharma. But that is fine, because intelligent life is to seek help. And if you think that help is not available locally, then you have to ask only Bhagavan. There is nothing wrong in that. So that is one bhakti is there. That is natural law. Then the other more intelligent people, what they do, their artharthi means what? They keep Bhagavan as a partner. Right? Whatever you do it as a bhakta. Means you keep the Bhagavan also by your side, because you recognize that Bhagavan is the karma phala. Therefore, whatever I want, for that I want to keep Bhagavan also with me always. So you start everything prayerfully, you do things prayerfully and all that. Artharthi. But even after all these things, at a point comes where you think that who is this Bhagavan? What is the Swarupa of this Bhagavan? What is the nature? Means then you have to study the Shastra. Because Shastra only can reveal Bhagavan to you. Then you become a jignasa. But when you study the Shastra, what you finally understand is what Bhagavad Swarupa cannot be away from me. Correct? If Bhagavan is everything, Bhagavan is really Ananta and limitless. Means limitless has to be available here and now. And it cannot be separate from me. Correct? If I am separate from the limitless, then neither it is limitless, nor I can claim anything, correct? I will also be limited in fact. So, this is how bhakti progresses. And all of them are bhakta. Jnani also is a bhakta. One who is studying Vedanta also is a bhakta. Yogi is a bhakta.
The reason I
there
asked
is no yogi, there is no jnani without bhakti. So we cannot separate it out and say there is somebody called a bhakta separately and jnani is separate and all that. Is it clear?
Yeah. The reason I asked that is, I see a lot of people where they say, oh, they have a great bhakti. They blindly follow a lot of things, but still, like, there is certain aspects where you have to exercise your will, right? You mentioned about likes, dislikes, doing. So when it comes to that part, they might, even me at times, I tend to follow. So
see, you are how what I am saying. It can be an artharthi bhakta.
Okay.
Where you want Bhagavan on one side, you want to fulfill your likes and dislikes, correct?
So how do I
most people are like that.
So then the question is, how to meet myself or other people, like for example parents, how do we swim upstream in order to reach a better
So you have to recognize that fulfilling your likes and dislikes alone is not going to make you happy. That recognition doesn't come for most people. Once you recognize that, then your nature of your bhakti also will become different. You will go from artharthi to jignasa. Is that clear? That is the important thing. What you are saying is most of them are either artha bhakta, artharthi only. That is true, I agree. Not everybody has the viveka that I have to rise above my likes and dislikes. Correct? So once that viveka is there only, then you will further proceed.
Thank you.
Hello.
Tell me.
My first question is, how do we tell from a person that's making up a belief that's made up or not true to a person who is saying something that is true about their religion?
See, that's what belief has to be believable. Is it clear? What do I mean by that is, a belief cannot go against established knowledge. Okay? So I cannot come and ask you to believe fire is cold. Will you believe that? No. Because it is not believable. Anything which goes against established knowledge, your own experience or even logic, you cannot believe something which is illogical. You cannot believe which is against established knowledge. But we can believe something which is beyond our current knowledge. You understand what I am saying? So that is the main criteria you should have. If somebody is telling you to believe something which is illogical or which is against established knowledge, you should inform them that it is not believable. Correct? Nothing wrong. You have to tell. You can tell friendly way. You don't have to be combative or anything. It's not believable. Right? You can tell why it is not believable. You should have the courage to say that.
My next question is, do you believe laws have changed over time since there were kings in India, like before when the Vedas were made, in the older times, before British colonization, has it changed over time from then to now?
What has changed, you are asking?
How the way of life, like how to live in general.
It's always changing, right? Time is a factor always. We are not living in the same manner like even like 30 years back. See, when I grew up, there was no TV. I am one of the last generation. We were always going out and playing. Right? We didn't have any TV. We didn't have phones. We didn't have smartphones particularly. Not even regular phones. Even landline phone we didn't have. In my own life, I have seen so much change. But any external change need not invalidate certain principles, correct? Yeah. So the principles should still remain the same. What guides our life, that cannot change. Your lifestyle may be different, but the principles which guide your life cannot be different. So there is always something changing, but there are also certain things which are changeless. So we should recognize both. Oh, okay.
Amazing coverage. Next time we're doing a technology change. We'll invest in an eco, but it's a pure Thank you so much for